I've had a long time to watch people handle money well, mishandle money too. And if you've lived long enough, you start to notice a pattern. Most people think the secret to building wealth is figuring out what to buy. The next hot stock, the next big trend, the next thing that changes everything. But over the years, I've come to believe something quieter and a lot more useful. Knowing what not to buy is often more important than knowing what to buy, because the biggest damage rarely comes from one huge mistake. It comes from 1,000 small decisions that feel harmless in the moment, but drain your bank account, your options, and your peace of mind over time. Money is a tool, and like any tool, it can build a house or it can cut your foot off. It depends on how you use it. So today I want to share 10 things I personally wouldn't spend money on in 2026. Not because I'm trying to be a hero, not because I'm above it, and definitely not because I've never wasted money. Believe me, I have. I'm sharing this because I watch people chase shiny objects for decades, and I've watched what happens afterwards: stress, debt, regret, and the feeling that no matter how much they earn, they can't get ahead. If you take anything from this, let it be this: every dollar you spend is a vote for your present or your future. All right? Let's get into it. One, buying the newest smartphone. Every single year, I'm not anti-technology. I'm not saying you shouldn't have a phone. A good smartphone can be genuinely useful, but upgrading every year just because a new one exists is one of the cleanest examples of modern consumerism. Here's the trick: the improvements are usually incremental. A slightly better camera, a slightly faster processor, a slightly brighter screen. And for that, people spend $900, sometimes more. What are you really buying? Often you're buying the feeling of being current. But that feeling fades fast. That's why it needs to be purchased again next year. If your phone works, keep it. Replace it when it breaks or when it's truly limiting your life. Not when an ad tells you it's time. Because the real cost of the annual upgrade isn't the sticker price. It's the opportunity cost, what that money could have become if it stayed in your pocket and got invested over time. 2. A brand new luxury car. For the status cars are useful. Transportation matters. But a new luxury car is often not a transportation decision. It's a status decision. The moment you drive a brand new car off the lot, it starts losing value. And it keeps losing value year after year while you keep paying higher insurance, higher registration, higher maintenance, more expensive tires, parts, and repairs, and sometimes higher stress. Now, if you love cars and you can truly afford it, fine. People are allowed to enjoy things, but a lot of folks buy luxury cars for one reason: to look successful. And that's an expensive way to rent confidence. A reliable, safe, gently used car with a great maintenance record will get you 95% of the benefit for a fraction of the cost. If you want to feel rich, buy things that signal wealth. If you want to be rich, keep your fixed costs low and let your assets do the heavy lifting. 3. A wedding that eats the down payment on your life. I love families. I love commitment, but I don't love the idea that you need to spend $30,000, $60,000, or $100,000 or more on a single day to prove your relationship is real. A wedding is a beautiful celebration, but a marriage is a long project. And I've seen too many couples start their marriage with credit card debt, family drama, financial pressure, and the quiet anxiety of we can't talk about money because we already blew it. The wedding industry is very good at making people feel like simple is cheap and expensive is meaningful. It's not. Meaningful is being able to handle an emergency without panic, having a little cushion, being able to say no to toxic work because you're not trapped building a life that actually lasts. Have a wedding you can afford, make it warm, personal, and honest, but don't sacrifice your future stability for a few hours of applause. Spend money on the marriage, not the production. Poor designer logos as a lifestyle. There's a difference between buying quality and buying a logo. Quality can be worth paying for. Shoes that support your back, a winter coat that lasts 10 years, work clothes that fit well and look professional. But paying an extra $700 just so the brand name is louder than the product, that's not quality. That's marketing. And here's the part nobody wants to admit. When you start buying status, you don't get to stop. Because status is a moving target. There's always a new drop, a new collab, a new must-have. And if your self-worth is tied to that cycle, you're going to be paying that bill forever. Buy things that serve you, not things that advertise you. The people doing best financially usually don't look like they're doing best financially because their money is working, not screaming. 5 subscriptions you don't use. This one seems small. That's why it's so dangerous. A subscription is a tiny monthly decision that turns into a permanent expense if you don't pay attention. A few streaming services, a premium app, a fitness membership you stopped going to, a delivery membership, cloud storage you forgot about. It's not unusual for someone to be paying $80 to $200 a month in subscriptions they barely use. That's $960 to $2,400 a year. And most people don't even feel it because it's automated. In 2026, I do this simple habit. Once a quarter, review every subscription. If you haven't used it in 30 days, cancel it unless it's truly essential. You can always resubscribe later, but you can't get back the money that quietly leaked out for 2 years while you weren't looking. Small leaks sink ships. 6. New tech gadgets that don't solve a real problem. Every year, there's a new gadget that promises a better life. The newest smartwatch, the newest tablet, the newest smart home devices, VR headsets, specialty cameras, drones, AI tools. You don't really need accessories. For accessories, some of this stuff is amazing if you actually use it. But most people buy gadgets the way kids buy toys, because it looks fun and it feels exciting for a week. Then it ends up in a drawer. Here's my rule. Don't buy technology because it's new. Buy it because it saves you time, increases your income, improves your health, or fixes a real frustration. Otherwise, you're paying to feel modern, and feeling modern is one of the most expensive feelings you can chase. 7. Daily convenience spending that becomes a habit. I'm not here to shame anyone for a coffee or a meal out. Life should have joy in it, but daily convenience spending done mindlessly can absolutely destroy your ability to get ahead. Let's do simple math. A $5 coffee every workday is about 5 times 5 days equals $25 a week. $25 a week, $25, $30, $100 a year. Make it $10 a day between coffee and a snack, and you're at $20,000 a day between coffee and a snack, and you're at $20, $60, $100 a year. And that's before we even talk about delivery fees, tips, service charges, impulse add-ons, might as well spending. The bigger point isn't the coffee, it's the lack of intention. If you choose it and you love it, and it fits your budget, great. But if it's just your default setting, it's quietly stealing your future options. Build a life where convenience is a treat, not a dependency. 8. Extended warranties on everything. Extended warranties are a brilliant business model, mostly for the seller. They're priced so the company wins on average. That's the whole point. Sometimes an extended warranty makes sense for a high-cost item with a known history of expensive repairs, when replacement would truly hurt you financially. But most of the time, people buy warranties out of anxiety, not logic. Here's a calmer approach. If you can afford to replace the item, skip the warranty and build your own replacement fund. If you can't afford to replace it, it's a sign you should either buy a cheaper version, buy used, or wait until you can truly afford it. Paying extra money to feel safe is not the same as being safe. 9. Chasing trends to avoid feeling left behind. Trends are designed to create one emotion: restlessness. New fashion trend, new home aesthetic, new diet, new gadgets, new vacation, new lifestyle. And social media amplifies it until it feels like everyone else is upgrading their life every weekend. If you try to keep up with trends, you'll stay broke no matter how much you earn, because the finish line keeps moving. Financial peace comes from a word that doesn't get enough respect: contentment. Contentment doesn't mean you never improve your life. It means you don't let strangers on the internet set your spending priorities, buy what you actually like, keep it for a long time, repeat. 10. Anything that promises to make you rich quick. This is the biggest one. If someone is promising you guaranteed returns, risk-free money secret strategies, insider tips, this will 10x. You'll never have to work again. Or anything that sounds like a shortcut, you should assume one thing: they're getting rich from you. Real wealth is built slowly. It's built by spending less than you earn, avoiding high-interest debt, investing, consistently increasing your skills and income over time, being patient when others panic, and letting compounding do what it does best. It's not exciting. It's not flashy. It's repetitive and boring. But boring is dependable, and dependable is what builds freedom. Closing. Let me leave you with this. People think wealth is about how much money you make, but more often it's about how much you keep and what you keep it invested in. I've seen people earn huge salaries and still live stressed because they built a lifestyle that consumes everything. And I've seen people with average incomes build real stability because they avoided the trapped status spending trend, chasing recurring leaks and easy money fantasies. Money can buy a lot of things, but the best thing it can buy is options. Options to rest, options to change jobs, options to help your family, options to handle emergencies without fear. That's real wealth. So in 2026, before you buy something, ask yourself, is this helping me build freedom or is it just helping me feel good for a moment? Because every dollar is a seed. You can consume it today or you can plant it and let it grow.